My name is Markus Bohr. I'm the executive pastry chef here at Harrods in London. We are a internationally renowned department store. We have our entire pastry production facilities are in the sub-basement of the actual building in Knightsbridge in London. We are having an operation that runs 24 hours a day, 363 days a year. We only shut down for Christmas and Good Friday. We have a pastry brigade of 30 staff, and the entire kitchen brigade is about 150, which probably makes it one of the largest brigades both in the UK or even in Europe. Okay, we are going to show today, we're going to make a truffle cake, and I'm going to incorporate a couple of things into the truffle cake that are, not common knowledge about just any other chocolate cake. I'm going to show a quite an interesting method of making marshmallows. I'm going to flavor the marshmallows, which is like a really hype thing at the moment. And last but not least, I'm going to show an apple tart, but I'm going to make the apple tart a little bit different. I deconstruct it and then I reassemble it, and we're going to use phyllo and apples and Callebaut cream, and it's going to be quite fabulous. We're going to make a chocolate truffle cake. We're going to make a chocolate mousse, a chocolate truffle mousse. And the chocolate truffle mousse that we're doing is, there are a lot of different ways of arriving at a chocolate mousse. For this particular cake, I have chosen a crème anglaise base, and we're going to prepare a fresh crème anglaise. We're going to use the crème anglaise to make a chocolate ganache, and then we're going to aerate that chocolate ganache with folded whipped cream under it, which is going to make for a very rich, a rather stable mousse. So it's perfect for chocolate entremets and things that would have to sit on buffets and would have to, could stand outside for a while without becoming too fragile and falling over. This cake is going to be layered with a hazelnut sponge, which I've already prepared beforehand, and we're going to spray that cake with chocolate afterwards, and I'll show some nice garnishing decoration tricks at the end when we finish the cake off. We're going to do it marshmallow, and it's an egg-free marshmallow. Common conception is that people think it has to do with meringue. It has to be egg white that's whipped and then you put gelatin inside. Well, it's not so. We're going to make a marshmallow that is based the way the original marshmallow was conceptualized probably 100 years ago somewhere in America, where people actually didn't have eggs to make it with. And what it is, it's basically you have sugar syrup. You can flavor the sugar syrup, which we will be doing today as well. You will have gelatin. You will have sugar. You cook all that together, and then you let it cool down. And then as the gelatin sets, we will begin to whip it up. And as the gelatin sets, the whipping will incorporate the air, and it will become more voluminous. You'll be adding flavor. We'll be adding a little bit food color to it. And then what we'll do is we'll pour it into an oiled frame. We'll let it aside, put it aside to set, and afterwards we're going to cut it out, and I'll show you how you can finish a marshmallow and make it a part of a very contemporary dessert. The third dessert is called or rather I call it, because it's a sort of self-creation. It's called an apple croustillon. Everybody loves apple. Apple pie with vanilla ice cream is probably the most popular dessert in the world. Anywhere you go, everybody loves it. And what I've done, I basically have deconstructed it. For the crusty part, we are going to be using phyllo pastry, but we're not just going to use plain phyllo pastry, because that in and of itself doesn't do very much for you in terms of flavor. But we're going to layer it. We're going to layer it with clarified butter, with icing sugar and ground almonds. So we're going to give that a whole new texture and feel to it. We're going to make the apples. We're going to flavor the apples with balsamic caramel. We're going to cook that into a compote. We're going to set it aside. And then finally, we're going to put that whole thing together with a Callebaut cream. So we're going to layer the layers of the sort of caramelized, nicely baked phyllo pastry together with the apple compote, together with the Callebaut cream, and that whole thing can then be, for a restaurant, it could be made into individual dessert, but you can also serve it as whole on a buffet or sell it even retail. So that's going to be the third one.